Live from my studio in the greater Boston area, it's Aligning with the Stars. Da 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 da. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Aligning with the Stars. I am your host Aline, but you can call me Allie. Let's go! Rock and Roll Hall of Fame night. That was a pretty fun night. This was one of those themes that I was like, I could do without, but I enjoyed it for the most part. I definitely could have done without the guest judge. I hate when they have unqualified guest judges, especially this far into the competition. Like, you are seriously affecting scores and you are seriously affecting who goes home. I just think just because you're qualified to match the theme of the night does not mean that you were qualified to judge, and I really don't want to see that again. This season they had done a really good job with the guest judges up until Flavor Flav, so it was tough to sit there and listen to him. And if I'm being completely honest, I muted the TV every time he spoke because I just couldn't deal with it. It was very cringe. Did not enjoy it at all. Like, the judges already have such little time to give feedback. Why are we wasting that time on someone who doesn't even add anything to the show? He was like, kept saying stuff and he'd be like, you know what I mean? No, we don't know what you mean. Really could have done without it. This week we said goodbye to Danielle and Pasha, and I'll speak more on that when we get to her dance. But first up, we saw a jive from Dylan and Daniela, and they received an 8, a 9, a 10, and a 9 for a total score of 36. This was their first 10 of the season, but it was from Flavor Flav, so I feel like kind of shouldn't count. He felt a little heavy on his feet during this routine, and there were some moments where it looked like he was getting a bit lost, like maybe he missed a step and he was like, oh shoot, like I don't know where I am, and then he eventually did pick back up, but you could tell he had those moments of hesitation or a little bit of stress because he didn't know where he was. I enjoyed it though, like it was an entertaining dance, although I could have done without him ripping off his shirt and doing the body rolls. That whole section did not feel very jivey to me, and I know they've been a little bit more lenient this season and recent seasons and how much of the like true jive content or true whatever style that you do. But this, like, it just didn't feel like it added anything to the dance, and it just didn't feel like it matched the rest of the tone of the dance. So I feel like I could have done without that. Another comment I had was that I feel like his arms could have used a bit of work in this routine too. It felt like at moments he was thinking too much about his footwork, that he would lose like his arms, he would forget that they existed, and they got either kind of like, sometimes people when they forget about their arms, instead of just dropping them, they get really tense and stiff, and he was a mix of doing that and a mix of like not remembering that they existed and just having them flop around. I don't feel like this was his best dance. Felt like a dip for me. I personally would have given this an 8. I agreed with Carrie Ann, and I was really surprised when Derek gave it a 9. He was asking for more energy, like it just didn't feel like he loved it, and then when he held up a 9, I was kind of surprised by that. And like I said, I personally think it should have been an 8. Felt like he was getting stuck in moments, and Carrie Ann even commented on that as well. So after that, Alex and Val did a paso doble to Livin' on a Prayer. They received 2 10s, a 9, and a 10 for a total score of 39. I'm counting this as her second perfect score because last week she got 3 10s from all the real judges and a 9 from Cheryl Burke, and this week she gets 3 9s from all the real judges, or 3 10s from all the real judges, and a 9 from stupid guest judges who don't know what they're talking about. So to me, this was a perfect score. I'm still so furious about this. Like, she was robbed. That should have been the first perfect score of the season, and in my head it was. Like, I'm not even gonna try to focus too much on that stupid 9 because it shouldn't exist. So to me, it doesn't. I mean, like, this was literal perfection. I think this was her best dance so far. Like, every week she's getting better and better and better, and it's been really, really incredible to see. I really admire her as a dancer. Like, in my opinion, she is the strongest dancer in this competition, and she didn't start out as the strongest dancer. And sure, when she was like in high school, she danced, but I don't think that she was like a competitive dancer. I think it was more of like a recreational thing. So it's not like she's a professional in any capacity. So she came in with a little bit of experience, but she didn't start off as the strongest. And now she has grown and surpassed everyone else in this competition. I truly think she has it in her to win, and I really, really hope that she does. Like, when she steps on that stage, it is her stage. It is her moment. Her stage presence is unmatched, and that's what's separating her from the rest of the competition. Yes, Whitney has good stage presence, but Alex, I feel, matches the energy of each dance better than Whitney does. Whitney sometimes gives me the same facial expressions again and again, whereas Alex gets into her character and matches the energy of the dance, not just giving us face for the sake of giving us face. And also, speaking of looks, can we talk about that costume and her hair and makeup? She looked gorgeous, obsessed. Her skirt choreo was incredible. I think Derek commented on how that, like, you might not think it's impressive, but it's hard to do that and not mess up the steps and not have it distract from the dancing, because you're like, oh, they're doing skirt choreography. Oh, is she gonna get it? Oh, is she gonna get it? Like, there wasn't a question of, is she gonna get it? It was, she is getting it, she is doing it, and she is killing it. Bruno said it was like watching two predators challenging each other every minute, and I really agree with that, because I don't feel like Alex is just keeping up with Val. I feel like she's matching him and even pushing him to be a stronger partner, and I've loved their partnership so much because of that. Carrie-Anne said that she set the gold standard with her passo, as we saw the top 3 couples from the week before all did a passo this week, so it was interesting to see how they all stacked up next to each other. And Carrie-Anne also said she's very powerful and grounded, and I feel like grounded is also a really good word for Alex, because sometimes people can get like too up in their dance, like they're not driving through the floor, and when you're too up, sometimes you can get lost in it and you can lose a bit of your energy. But Alex, she stays in it, she stays grounded, and that adds such a maturity to her movement that we don't see in some of the other stars. Derek has only given out 3 10s so far this season. 2 have been to Alex and 1 was to Whitney, which was later on. And I think that really speaks to how incredible of a season Alex is putting together, that most of Derek's 10s have gone to her. And she got the first 10 from Derek as well. Still cannot believe that was 39. That was so ridiculous. But like I said, in my mind, it's a 40. Don't care. And then to contrast that incredible performance, Andy and Emma went next, and they did a contemporary to God Only Knows. They received 2 7s, a 9, and a 7 for a total score of 30. Again, that 9 from Flavor Flav should not count. That, like, the fact that he gave Alex's show-stopping, incredible, perfect, gorgeous, beautiful dance the same score as Andy's, like, that's why we shouldn't have unqualified guest judges, because that's ridiculous. Even all 7s is generous for what this dance was. They're just giving him pity points. They feel bad giving him 6s because they're like, oh, you're getting better, you're getting better. He's not really though. This contemporary dance was not a 7. And I'm sick of people defending him, being like, he's trying his best. Like, what else do you want from him? He's doing his best. So is everyone else in the competition, and they're so much better than him and actually enjoyable to watch. Like, people are treating him like he's this like 80-year-old man that's like dancing for the first time. It's so sweet and cute. He's 58. Elaine is 54. Like, I was just so sick of it. This contemporary was painful to watch. Like, Emma looked so beautiful, so gorgeous, and then he's just there and he's like stomping around. His posture was bad. He doesn't connect his steps. Like, it goes, okay, we're doing this, and now we are doing this. I'm gonna take a few steps, and now we are doing this. Like, there's no fluidity to it, and that's what you need in contemporary. Like, you can't have a contemporary without fluidity. So clunky, so awkward to watch, no control whatsoever. He made so many obvious mistakes, and it's just so upsetting that he's still there, and knowing that moving forward, pretty much, maybe going back as well, but definitely from here on out, if someone goes home instead of Andy, that's an injustice to this show. He needs to go home. He needs to go home. The judges barely even comment on his actual dancing. They just more comment on his vibe and, oh, how he's such an inspiration and he's so fun and joyous to watch, yada, yada, yada. Like, no constructive criticism, no actual commentary on the dancing, just spewing BS. And Bruno called it charming and tender, and I totally disagree. It was stupid and an annoying reminder that he is still here. He needs to go home. Please send Andy home. But after that, Whitney and Mark went, and they also did a passo to No More Tears. They received a 9 and 3 10s for a total score of 39. Thank you, Carrie-Anne, for giving it a 9 so that Alex still has a chance of getting the actual technical first perfect score of the season, and that she was not further robbed than she's already been. Well, I thought this was good. I didn't think it was as good as Alex's passo, so again, I'm really glad that she did not get a higher score. This was some of my favorite costuming of the night, though. I really liked that spiderweb look that they had going, although sometimes when the passo men just wear the pants and the waistband with no jacket, it makes it look silly because it just looks like they're wearing really high-waisted pants, and that always is a little bit distracting for me. But overall, this was very strong, very captivating. I kind of felt like I was a fly in their spider web. Like, I couldn't take my eyes off of it. I couldn't look away. I couldn't move away. I kind of felt that vibe of being a spider, like them being spiders. That was cool. There was a lot of strong paso elements, and their partnership is so strong, and it really took it to the next level. Like, if you are not two strong dancers comfortable dancing with each other, you can't put out a routine that looks like this. Derek commented on her shaping, and Bruno also commented on her placement, and you really do notice that she has like a deeper understanding of each step and how her body should look in that step. She doesn't just know, okay, this is the step I am doing it. She knows exactly where to place and how to shape, and that really elevates her. But Carrie Ann said because she was focusing too much on that, there were a few little footwork mistakes, which is why she gave it a 9. And I think 39 is a very fair score for this, like super close to perfect, but just not quite there. So, fair. And also, Alex did not lose her perfect score bid. Next up, Danielle and Pasha did a contemporary to Dream On, and they received a 9, an 8, a 9, and an 8 for a total score of 34. She was coming off of a couple strong weeks, but I don't feel like this was her best week. I don't think that contemporary was her style, which then makes it even more tough because like you're going home on a non-ballroom Latin dance style when this is a ballroom Latin show. Like, that just kind of always sucks a bit for me. But I do think in a normal Andy free competition, this is probably the week that she would have gone home. Like, close to making it to the finale, but just not quite there. Not bad, but not the best. But Andy being and still complicates it. Like, I really wish Andy just went home week 3, and then I think the rest of these eliminations would make sense. But just the fact that he is still standing strong makes it all much worse. But anyways, on to her actual dancing. I felt like she was cutting a lot of her movements short and not fully extending her lines, which is really crucial in a contemporary. Like, you can't have clunky, condensed, movement. It has to be your full body taking up that full space. And everything just looked a little bit stiff to me and almost juvenile. We've seen some really intricate contemporaries this year, and this just didn't really stack up next to the rest of them, besides Andy's. I love Pasha, but I just don't feel like this was his best choreography. Maybe Danielle just wasn't advanced enough to do more. I don't know. I think that hurt their scores as well. And I felt like the judges didn't really give any constructive criticism. They more just commented on her as a person and her vibe and the fact that she's here, which to me is always a sign that you are at risk of going home if they're not like giving you actual feedback, And then she did go home, so. Derek had a comment that I agreed with. He said it felt a bit disjointed, and that kind of goes back to the choreography comment. Like, I didn't really feel like the story flowed together. I felt like there were sections that they learned, and then they put those sections together in a dance. Next, Elaine and Alan went, and they did a Viennese waltz to What the World Needs Now is Love, and they received 2 9s, a 10, and a 9 for a total score of 37. Very excited that my girl Elaine has a 10, but it did come from Flavor Flav, so doesn't really count. I'll be more excited when she gets a 10 from a real judge. So glad that she is back dancing, though. I really missed her last week. My heart was broken for her, and I didn't really feel like it took away from her dancing this week. I feel like it almost motivated her even more to like kind of prove to people that just because she's injured, just because she's hurting, doesn't mean that she's out of the competition, doesn't mean that she's out of the running. She said, I'm expecting to feel pain. I don't care. So badass. Love her, love her, love her. Her dancing was so elegant. Like, they were gliding across that floor so effortlessly. They were moving as one unit, not 2 separate people, and it was so beautiful. She is just such a joy to watch, and you can see that she has joy dancing on her face, and that makes her even more enjoyable to watch. So I just, like, it is a breath of fresh air, truly, and Derek said the same thing, and I totally agree. I've also really been enjoying Alan's choreography this season. I feel like he keeps it all really classy. Like, there's no fluff. They do the dance. They don't try to go viral. They don't try to have these cool tricks in it. They just do a classic dance. And I feel like it's been really good to show off Elaine's skill and her technique and her elegance and beauty and joy. Like, it's been beautiful to watch. I love this partnership. Very unexpected for me coming into this season. I didn't really know much about her. I love Alan, but he's not one of my like top pros, but this has been a top couple for me and a joy to watch this season. Bruno said she was literally glowing. I totally agree. By the end of this, I was like tearing up at how gorgeous and beautiful she was. Carrie Ann said watching her dance feels so familiar, and it's like the language she speaks from her heart. Which sounds crazy, but I totally felt that when she said that. I would have been able to put it into those words, but that was so accurate to how I feel watching Elaine dance. Maybe it's the dancer in me, but her connection to and her love for dance really shines through in a way that reminds me of my love for dance. And she's just been so special for me to watch this season. I don't know if this is just me and other people don't have her as a favorite, but I don't know. I would love to see her go all the way. After that, Jordan and Ezra did a jazz to River Deep Mountain High. They received a 10, a 9, a 10, and a 9 for a total score of 38. I agree with the 9 scores. It was fabulous, but I just wanted more. And I feel like part of that is probably because it was a jazz dance, and I haven't been loving the jazzes this season, as we know. But I don't know. There was something that I was waiting for more. Maybe like a bigger dance break. I don't know. I don't know how to place it. But to me, it wasn't a 10 yet. And maybe I'm just being harsh. I don't know. Maybe I'm being overcritical. But I wanted more. I think my expectations for her are so high, and I don't feel like they've been fully met yet. I also think if this was maybe like a jive and not a jazz, it could have been a 40. But like the jazz just isn't hitting this season, so I think that hurts. And sometimes, especially in this dance, I really felt like she was cutting some of her movements short, and I felt like the two of them had a couple of moments where they were a bit out of sync. Overall, though, her energy was to die for. She really embraced and channeled her inner Tina Turner. There were just some moments I didn't love. The judges mostly commented on how awesome her energy was. None of the comments really stuck out to me, though, as like a way she could have improved or like a moment that really stuck out to them. It was more just overall like high energy, yes, fun, but not quite a 40 yet. And then after their dance, the troupe did a baseball routine, baseball themed dance, because a couple of the World Series winning Dodgers were in the ballroom, and it was so funny every time they panned to them. Like, there's 4 of them. 3 of them looked pretty miserable and confused as to why they were there, and then Dave Roberts, the manager, he looked so happy. It totally looked like he just dragged them along to Dancing with the Stars. He was like, we're gonna sit here, we're gonna watch it, and you're gonna have fun. It was really funny. But next up was our last partnered dance, and that was from Robert and Whitney, and they did a paso to Icky Thump. They received 2 9s and 2 10s for a total score of 38. I really loved their rehearsal package and how Whitney kept comparing Robert to Mark and Val. That definitely would have motivated me if I was in his shoes. He had a little moment in the beginning, and the judges commented on that, but he bounced back, and then the rest of the routine was great. But I do feel like that cost him some of the 10s. But I've really been enjoying him in these like intense dances. I didn't think he would be able to pull this off because he's so bubbly. Like literally the second after his dance ended, he was back to that like bubbly Robert, wasn't in that intense Robert dance paso phase anymore. But he's done a really good job in all, like in his paso, in his Argentine tango. Like he's locked in, and he has been so intense, and it's been so great to watch. Derek said that he owned the arena. Bruno said he dominated the performance and thanked them for the classic paso. No messing around. I also thought there was a cute moment between Flavor Flav and Robert. Like, he was like, oh, dude, like, I love you. And I feel like he's done that with all the guest judges. He's been, like, just really excited and giddy that they're there and been like, oh, you're awesome, as they're, like, trying to give him feedback. It's pretty funny. And then lastly, Carrie Ann said Robert had good momentum, and I totally agree. He has been ramping up each week and coming out with an even more incredible performance than the last. So that momentum is definitely going to carry him into the finale. And I really hope we go to the finale with them, because Whitney is one of the most incredible freestyle choreographers ever. So I think their freestyle would love it. After that, we had our team dances. I honestly thought Team Cool was going to be stronger than Team Chicago, but they proved me wrong. So Team Chicago went first, and that was Alfonso, Danielle, Whitney, Jordan, Dylan, and then their pros. And they danced live to 25 or 6-4 by Chicago, and they received a perfect score, all 10s for a total score of 40. Although this is technically the first perfect score of the season, we don't really count it because usually a team dance will get a 40, but if that was an individual, it would not have gotten a 40. It's just more about the energy and the funness of it. So it doesn't really count. We're still waiting for our first true perfect score. I really loved their concept, and I really loved watching Alfonso dance. He like just loves to dance. Whenever he's on the ballroom, even if it's like 2/8 counts and like an opening number with him and Julianne, he eats it up. He puts his whole heart and soul into it, and it's so fun. And him doing the Carlton and being like, "It's the Alfonso now," like that's so funny. I do wish he ended up on the same team as Whitney Carson, but you know, maybe we'll have to wait for that reunion. For limited rehearsal and 9 people, I thought it was pretty clean. I think they kept it very simple, and they like had some repeated sections, which definitely worked to their advantage. Like they didn't try to do too much, which could lead to more mistakes. But overall, such a fun dance. Totally agree with the scores. You know, that was a perfect team dance. After that, Team Cool went, and Team Cool was Julianne, Andy, Elaine, Robert, and Alex and their pros. And they danced to Celebration by Kool and the Gang, and they received a 9, 2 10s, and a 9 for a total score of 38. I feel like they just tried to do too much that led to the mistakes. Andy was especially hard to watch, which made Danielle going home with a perfect team score and an actual good performance in the team dance even more painful. Like, I wish they scored them individually in the team dances, because I think Andy could have gotten like so much lower. But obviously that's not how a team dance works. Like, I wonder if they almost had to dumb it down for Andy, because he was messing up like the simplest steps. Like, no way they could have done anything more advanced. And I didn't think he would be that much of a liability in the team dances. Like, I thought the other 3 strong stars would, you know, carry the team to victory, but he really was like a major liability. Overall, super fun dance, just wasn't as strong as the other dance. But I wonder if they went first, if they would have scored higher. You know, like after seeing Team Chicago, you couldn't give this a 40, but if they went first, would they have gotten to 40? Would they have gotten to 39? Who knows? That brought us to the end of the night, where we said goodbye to Danielle. Like I said, if Andy wasn't here still, her going home at this point in the competition would make sense, but Andy still remains, so it complicates things. Looking ahead to next week, we have a lot of exciting things. That's kind of why this episode is out a bit late this week, because I wanted for all the information to come out about next week, so we could talk about all the cool and fun and exciting things that we're going to see for 20th birthday party. That is the theme next week. The first very exciting thing is that Tom Bergeron, former host of Dancing with the Stars, will be guest judging. He's hosted, he's danced, and now he will be judging. Very excited. Get the trifecta. You're going to be really excited to see him back. He has not been back in the ballroom since he left. I think actually ABC asked Erin and him to leave. But like, I love Tom. I love Erin Andrews. I would love if she was back in the ballroom, but she's very booked and busy, so we probably won't see that for a while. So this coming week, each couple will be doing 2 dances. They're going to be doing one dance with their pro partner. It's going to be inspired by a previous freestyle song, and they're going to use that as their inspiration. And then their second dance is going to be done without their pro partner, and instead they will be dancing with a previous Mirrorball champion. Very exciting. We've never seen this before. The only time we've ever seen previous stars dance with current stars is when they're in a trio and there's a pro involved. But this will be just the stars. Very cool, very exciting. And they're going to be doing that in a relay. And how that's going to work is one couple will dance the first half of the song, and then another couple will dance the second half, and they're competing against each other, and then the judges choose who wins, and that winner gets bonus points. And we know that they will either be doing a quick step, a jive, or a Viennese waltz for this, but we don't yet know who's doing what and who's going to be going against who, so that'll be very fun to learn day of. Alex and Val will be doing a foxtrot to Singing in the Rain for their first dance, and this is going to be inspired by Nev Schulman and Jenna Johnson's season 29 freestyle. Nev and Jenna were runners-up in season 29. I love the Val and Jenna connection here. I'm really excited to see Alex do a foxtrot. I was really blown away by her Viennese waltz during Disney Week, and I think that's a similar vibe-ish to a foxtrot, like very smooth, very focused. Not like a foxtrot is probably going to be a little more cheery than their waltz, but I think like that frame is just going to look so gorgeous on her, and she's really grown so much as a dancer since week 4, so cannot wait to see this. Like I said, I envision a strong frame, envision great movement quality. Derek has commented a couple times on her maturity in her movement, and I think in this foxtrot that's really going to shine. Will she finally get the perfect score that she so desperately deserves? I really hope so. And I was really bummed at the end of last week's episode, or right before the team dances, they announced that Whitney and Mark were going to get immunity from the relay dance and the automatic bonus points. They originally said it was going to go to the top scorer of the night, but Alex and Whitney were tied, and Whitney has a higher cumulative score throughout the season, so that's why Whitney has immunity. But I'm not upset anymore because I'm really excited to see Alex paired with her former winner, season 33 winner, Joey Grassity. This is like such a perfect pairing. I never would have gone out of my way to put these two together, but seeing it together makes so much sense. You know what I mean? Like, I bet they're gonna, I can't wait. I really can't wait to see them dance. So I'm not even mad that she didn't get those auto bonus points, because she will probably win her relay, let's be real. She would have to go up against, I don't know, maybe Jordan could beat her, but I really think Alex and Val are going to come out on top no matter who they go up against. And I also think that she has the upper hand compared to other stars because she has last season's winner. Like, he's the most recent one to be in the competition, so she does have that slight advantage there. Perfect pairing. Like, I just can't wait to see their energy together. Really, really excited for that. Andy and Emma will be doing a quick step to Puttin' on Ritz, inspired by Jordan Fisher and Lindsay Arnold's season 25 freestyle. Jordan was the winner of that season and one of the greatest stars to ever grace the show. New fans would hate him though because he has like a ton of dance experience. Like, he's a Disney star, like Disney dancing star, Broadway star. Like, he came in with a lot of experience, but he was so incredible to watch. I highly recommend watching their freestyle. Sadly, however, Andy is probably going to butcher this. Quick step obviously requires a lot of quick steps and lots of movement. Like, it's got to be a jam-packed routine. That's things that Andy does not do. He doesn't really move a lot, and he doesn't really put a lot of content in. And it's not just that he struggles with like learning steps. It's the technique, it's the form, it's everything. I saw someone on TikTok do a comparison of like a former male star's posture compared to Andy's, and it was so bad. Like, his butt was out, his like arm was up, like, oh, awful. And then Joey was like gorgeous, perfect lines. Like, it's upsetting. It's so upsetting. Like, he needs to go home. I just can't do this anymore. And then for his relay, he's going to be partnered with Caitlin Bristow, who's the season 29 winner and another member of Bachelor Nation. Caitlin won with Ardem, who's no longer a pro in the show. This is a funny pairing to me for some reason. I feel like with all the other pairings, they kind of like matched energy, but there's not really a previous female winner who matches Andy's energy, so I feel like they went kind of a 180 with it and chose an opposite, like gorgeous, bachelorette, deserved winner. There's literally no way that they are going to win their relay. Like, I'm going to be really freaking upset if they win their relay. I don't know who they would have to go up against in order to win it. But if he does, I'll be sick of the show. And if he doesn't go home, I'll also be sick to my stomach. And this week, I am having all my friends who don't watch the show and don't vote for everyone but Andy to combat the Andy stans so we can finally get the justice we deserve and send that dude home. Elaine and Alan will be doing a salsa to It Takes Two, inspired by Mario Lopez and Karina Smirnoff's season 3 freestyle, throwing it all the way back to season 3, where Mario was the runner-up. Elaine and Alan have not done a Latin dance since their week 3 jive, which is crazy. And in my head, I was like, I just feel like she's a stronger ballroom dancer. Like, her ballroom dances have been so good, but I think it's just the fact that we haven't really seen her do a Latin dance in weeks. And that also adds to my hatred of all the jazz and contemporary in this season, because she hasn't done a Latin dance since she did 2 non-ballroom Latin dances. Like, why are we doing this? But luckily, there's no jazz or contemporary this week, so I'm a happy girl. And because it has been so long since we've seen her do a Latin dance, it's kind of hard for me to completely gauge how I think she'll do, but I think she's going to come out with a lot of energy, a lot of attack. It's going to be fun, she'll be smiley, so I'm excited to see her do this. We are down to 7 dancers, and assuming we have another 5-person finale this season, 2 more people have to go, and I worry that Elaine is towards the bottom. Like, she is a really strong dancer, but there's just a couple stronger dancers, so I feel now that we're down to only 7, she's towards the bottom, so I really hope this is a good week for her. Like, I'm gonna tell like I said, I'm telling everyone to vote for everyone but Andy, but if they only want to vote for one person, please have it be Elaine. I love her so much. And her relay partner is one that I am very, very excited to see back in the ballroom. Season 24 winner, Rashad Jennings. Rashad was partnered with Emma when he won. I love when athletes win, especially a football player. Like, football and dance are so different, and it's so fun to watch them come out there and own the stage and be enjoyable to watch. Like, it just does something for me. So I loved him. He's one of my favorite winners, and he really did a lot of dancing in his life after Dancing with the Stars, so that's very cool. I would also love if she won her relay. I think she has it in her, just kind of depending on who she goes up against. So, fingers crossed. Dylan and Daniela will be doing an Argentine tango to Ain't No Sunshine, inspired by Milo Manheim and Whitney Carson's season 27 freestyle. Milo is the season 27 runner-up, and he's probably the most controversial runner-up, as that is the season when Bobby Bones won. If you haven't seen this freestyle, go back and watch it. You should probably watch all the freestyles before this week, but this one especially is just so incredible. Like, he was young when he was on the show, and like, that's one of my favorite dances. Whitney is a freestyle queen. Dylan, I feel, has had a lot of ups and downs this season. Like, he'll come out with a really strong dance, and then all of a sudden, like, the next week it's just not as good, and then the next week he's back again, and then the next week is not as good. So he's been all over the place. Like, he has it in him, but some dances just aren't his style. I do think Argentine tango will be a strong dance for him, though. Danny especially thrives in that, like, strong, intimate connection, and I feel like their best dances this season have been passionate and intimate. Like, their rumba was really good, you know what I mean? I feel like the Argentine tango kind of has the same overall energy. I also fear that Dylan is at risk of going home because I think his scores aren't as good as the other stars. You know, especially if people keep voting for Andy, I can see him missing the finale if Andy is going to be in it. For Dylan's relay, he's going to be partnered with Rumor Willis, who is the season 24 winner. She won with Val. Another strong pairing. She was a really powerful dancer, and I think that's what Dylan needs in a partner, because sometimes he can be on the timid side, so his partner kind of pulls that out of him or kind of makes up for that shyness in his movement. Depending on who they're up against, I could see Dylan winning, but I could also see him losing if he's up against someone like Alex or Jordan or Robert, you know? So it kind of depends. Jordan and Ezra will be doing a cha-cha to Get Up, inspired by Wayne Brady and Whitney Carson's season 31 freestyle. Wayne came in third place in season 31, and you would think that's like a robbery because it's Wayne Brady and he's incredible, but that was like a really, really competitive and amazing season. That's when Charlie D'Amelio won, and Gabby Windey from The Bachelor, she came in second place, and like all of that was totally deserved. It was such a good season. I find it crazy that Jordan and Ezra have not done a cha-cha yet this season. I feel like that's usually one of the first dances people do. Like, week 1 had like half cha-chas. But Ezra is really good with Latin choreography, so I think this is going to be a very energetic, very challenging dance. I think her scores recently have been a little bit lower than what they expected. So I hope this week she'll either meet her expectations for herself or exceed them. We shall see. Her relay partner is season 4 winner Apollo Ono, a fellow Olympian. She has the earliest winner, so that might be a disadvantage on her behalf, you know, having someone who's been out of the ballroom for the longest time. But he is an Olympian, so I doubt that'll be so much of a disadvantage, and she is who she is, so I think they'll be fine. I was 5 when this season aired, so I don't remember too much about him. I've seen clips, but I have seen a clip of his freestyle with Julianne, and his energy was incredible. Like, that is such a fun freestyle to watch. I believe that was her first season, and she was 18, and she came in and won a mirror ball. Like, that's how incredible Julianne was. But so I just can't wait to see that energy back on the ballroom floor. She definitely also has potential to win a relay. I think her biggest competition would be if she was up against Alex or maybe Robert, but I could see her getting those bonus points. Speaking of Robert and Whitney will be doing a foxtrot to Footprints in the Sand, inspired by Bindi and Derek's season 21 freestyle. Bindi is the season 21 winner, but more importantly, she is Robert's older sister. Very cute. This was a really gorgeous and elegant freestyle, and I'm excited to see them reimagine this as a foxtrot. The only slow dance that Robert has done this season was his contemporary, and that was really beautiful. That was one of his strongest dances of the season, and he also had that family connection in his contemporary, so I think those two things working together, he's going to put together a really, really incredible and powerful dance. I think sometimes he can get a little bit stiff in his frame, but overall I think this will be a really strong and emotional performance. His relay portion will not be danced with Bindi. There was some confusion over that, but he is instead going to be dancing with season 32 winner Sochi Gomez. Second to Alex, this is probably the best pairing. She won only 2 years ago, so it's not like she's been out of the ballroom for a while, and she also is only 19, so it's not like she's like old and out of shape or anything. Like, they're gonna be fine. Very excited to see how they're gonna dance on stage together. Like, they both are high energy, they both are very cheerful, very uppity, so I'm excited to see that. I think it would be cute if they had, I don't know, I would like to see a jive. I would like to see them do the jive. And I think that they have potential to win if going up against the right person. Lastly, Whitney and Mark will be doing an Argentine tango to cell block tango, inspired by Gabby, Wendy, and Val's season 31 freestyle. As I mentioned, they were the runners-up in season 31. I really like Chicago, but I feel like the song is really overdone in Dancing with the Stars, so I would have liked if they'd chosen a different freestyle, and I feel like Gabby's wasn't that iconic, where a lot of the rest of these were, like, pretty iconic. And in the moment, I hated that they did cell block tango because it didn't get a 40, which most freestyles do, and, like, it just didn't wow me. But that's a whole separate thing. Mark has also previously done a freestyle to cell block tango, so he's kind of choosing his own freestyle. And he did that in season 11, which I feel like is not going to help the favoritism comments. But that was a freestyle. This is an Argentine tango, so it's not like he can do the same exact choreography. And I feel like even if he hadn't done a dance to cell block tango on Dancing with the Stars, every dancer has either done one or is very familiar with a cell block tango dance, so, like, it's not really that much of an advantage. I think I could potentially see them getting a perfect score. We shall see. I feel like this will have similar energy to the Paso Doble, and that was really strong and powerful from them. So yeah, I'm excited for this. They are not doing the relay because they had the highest scores from last week and they got immunity from it, and they will automatically get the bonus points, which I feel like that's kind of a bummer. Like, you don't get to dance with a former star, but you get automatic bonus points. Win some, you lose some, whatever. But yeah, overall I'm very excited for next week. I like that the theme isn't too restrictive. Like, they get to, with like rock and roll night, like, you have to do a certain kind of dance, but with this, like, there's so much creativity. You can choose from a wide variety of freestyles, and dancing with a former star, like, that's so fun. Really excited to see it. I hope the relay doesn't go, like, wrong, you know what I mean? Like, I hope it all works out according to plan and it is fun to watch, because that would be really disappointing. I also really hope that it's Andy's time to go, but if not, I feel like it'll be Dylan or Elaine. If it's anyone outside of those three, I will be really shocked, but if it's Dylan or Elaine, I will still be shocked, just not as shocked. But anyways, I will see you guys next time. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss next time.